Have you ever been talking to a woman and everything seems to be going perfectly? The conversation is flowing, she's laughing, there's a real spark. And then you say or do something you barely even notice, and you feel it. A shift. An invisible wall goes up. Her energy pulls back. You spend the rest of the night, or even the next few days, trying to figure out what happened. You were nice, you were polite, you were agreeable. So what went wrong? The brutal truth is that women are masters of reading subconscious cues, and the single most lethal attraction killer is not being a jerk or being rude, it's being perceived as weak. And I'm not talking about physical strength, I'm talking about a deep, internal, masculine strength that women are biologically wired to be drawn to. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the 10 subtle behavioral tics that scream weakness to women. Most men do these things every single day without even realizing it. And number 8 is the one that most men actually think is a sign of strength. Stay with me, because this is about to change the way you see every interaction you have. Sign number 1, the over-apologizer. We begin with the most common and seemingly harmless habit. The man who apologizes for his very existence. He's the guy who says, "Sorry to bother you," when he asks a question. "Sorry for the long message," after he shares a story. "Sorry, this might be a dumb opinion," but before he even speaks his mind. The psychology in depth. Let's be clear, a sincere apology when you are genuinely in the wrong is a sign of immense character and strength. But chronic, low-grade apologizing is a subconscious broadcast of low self-worth. You are essentially telling the world, and more importantly telling her, that you believe your presence, your time, and your thoughts are an inconvenience. It's a verbal tic that comes from a deep-seated belief that you are less than, and that you need to constantly ask for permission to simply exist in her space. Why it's unattractive. It forces her into the role of a mother, constantly having to reassure you with, "No, it's fine, don't be sorry." It creates a dynamic of you as the child and her as the adult, which is the complete opposite of the masculine-feminine polarity that fuels romantic attraction. The high-value fix. You need to retrain your brain. The fix is a simple but profound language shift. Replace sorry with thank you. Instead of "sorry I'm late," you say with a confident smile, "Thank you for your patience." Instead of "sorry for venting," you say, "Thank you for listening." This simple switch is a psychological power move. It transforms you from a man who is a burden into a man who is appreciative and in control of his actions. Reserve sorry for when it truly counts. Sign number 2, crippling indecisiveness. This is the silent killer of dates everywhere. She asks the simple question, "So, where do you want to go for dinner?" And you hit her with the classic attraction killer, "I don't know, I'm down for whatever you want." You think you're being easygoing and accommodating. What she hears is, "I have no preferences, no desires, and no ability to lead." The psychology in depth. Leadership, at its most fundamental level, is the ability to make a decision in the face of uncertainty and take responsibility for it. When you defer every small decision to her, you are creating a leadership vacuum. This forces her to step into the masculine decision-making role, which is often the exact opposite of the relaxed, feminine energy she wants to feel when she's with a man. She wants to be able to trust your direction, and if you can't decide on a restaurant, how can she trust you with bigger things? The high-value fix. Implement the 2 options rule. You must always be the one to propose the plan. Never say, "I don't know." Instead, you lead with confident options. "I know a great Italian place downtown with amazing pasta. Or we could hit up that new taco spot by the river. Which are you in the mood for tonight?" Look at what you've done. You've made the hard decision. You've shown you can lead. You've taken the mental load off her. But you've still given her a choice, making her feel respected and involved. That is masculine leadership in action. Sign number 3, seeking constant reassurance. This is the man whose confidence is a house of cards, and he needs her to constantly check that it's still standing. After a date, he texts, "Did you have a good time?" During a quiet moment, he asks, "You're not mad at me, are you?" If she's a little distant, he pleads, "We're still good, right?" The psychology in depth. These questions are a direct window into your insecurity. You are literally outsourcing your emotional stability to her. A strong, centered man validates himself from within. His sense of worth is not dependent on her moment-to-moment approval. When you constantly seek her reassurance, you are handing her the heavy, unattractive burden of managing your emotions. It signals that your confidence is so fragile that she holds the power to shatter it at any moment. The high-value fix. You must operate on the principle of assume attraction, observe actions. Assume she had a good time with you. Your internal frame should be, of course she had a good time, she was with me. Then, instead of asking for her validation, simply observe her actions. Is she actively engaging in conversation? Is she excited to plan the next date? Is she initiating contact? Her actions will give you a far more honest answer than a question she feels pressured to answer politely. Trust your own value. Sign number 4. Gossiping and speaking poorly of others. This is a subtle one that many men don't realize is a sign of weakness. It's the man who, in conversation, constantly complains about his boss, talks badly about his so-called friends, or engages in petty gossip about other people's lives. The psychology in depth. Strong men are builders. They are focused on their own mission, their own path, and their own growth. They talk about ideas, ambitions, and plans. Weak men often try to build themselves up by tearing others down. Gossiping and speaking negatively about others is a subconscious admission that you lack value of your own. You have to borrow status by lowering the status of those around you. It's also seen as a very feminine-coded form of communication, which can disrupt romantic polarity. The high-value fix. Adopt the builder's mindset. When you speak, make it a rule to talk about ideas, not people. Talk about the future, not just the drama of the past. When you mention other people, speak of them with respect, even if you disagree with them. Become a source of positive, expansive, forward-moving energy. A woman wants to be with a man who is busy building his empire, not one who is sitting in the stands critiquing everyone else's. Sign number 5. The chameleon effect. This is the man who becomes a mirror. She says she loves a certain band and he immediately says, "Oh yeah, me too, they're the best," even if he's never heard of them. She hates a certain type of movie and he quickly agrees, "Yeah, that stuff is so overrated," even if he secretly loves it. He molds his entire personality to match hers. The psychology in depth. He believes that being agreeable makes him compatible. In reality, it makes him boring and signals that he has no solid identity of his own. Attraction requires a spark, a certain tension, and there can be no spark between two identical objects. A woman doesn't want a clone of herself. She craves a man with his own mind, his own passions, and his own perspectives, who can challenge her, expand her world, and stand his own ground. The high-value fix. Practice the art of respectful disagreement. Your individuality is a key component of your attractiveness. If she states an opinion you don't share, don't be argumentative. Be curious and playful. With a smile, say something like, "Wow, that's a hot take. I'm on the complete opposite side of that one. You have to tell me what I'm missing." This doesn't create conflict. It creates a fun, engaging debate. It shows you have a backbone and a mind of your own, which is incredibly attractive. Sign number 6. Using self-deprecating humor poorly. Now, a little bit of well-timed self-deprecating humor can be a great tool. It can show that you're confident enough to not take yourself too seriously. But there is a massive difference between a confident jab and a chronic cry for help. The weak man's default mode of humor is constantly putting himself down. "Yeah, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I did that. Of course I'd mess that up. That's just typical me." The psychology in depth. When this becomes your primary way of being funny, it's no longer humor. It's a defense mechanism. You are trying to beat everyone else to the punch. You are insulting yourself before she or anyone else has the chance to, hoping it will soften the blow. It's a strategy rooted in a deep-seated fear of judgment and a core belief that you are, in fact, not good enough. You're just packaging your genuine insecurities as jokes. Why it's unattractive. After a while, it's simply not funny. It becomes uncomfortable. The woman is left in a position where she either has to awkwardly agree with your self-insult or constantly play the role of your therapist, saying, "No, you're not an idiot. Don't say that." It drains the fun, lighthearted energy from the interaction and replaces it with a heavy, insecure vibe. The high-value fix. You need to shift to using confident humor. This means making jokes about external situations, shared experiences, or even playfully exaggerating your strengths. If you're a great cook, you can joke with a smirk, "You should be careful. This pasta is so good it might ruin all other restaurants for you." It's cocky and funny. It comes from a place of value, not a place of lack. Sign number 7. Asking for permission. This is a subtle verbal cue that completely changes the power dynamic in an interaction. It's the constant use of permission-based language for things that should be led. The most classic example is it okay if I kiss you?" But it also includes things like, "Can I get your number?" or "Would you mind if I sat here?" The psychology in depth. A masculine leading man operates from a frame of confident intention. A weak man operates from a frame of tentative hope. By asking for permission, you are handing her the leadership role. You are making her the decision-maker and positioning yourself as the subordinate who requires her approval to act. It communicates uncertainty in yourself and in the vibe you're both sharing. Why it's unattractive. It kills the romantic tension and mystery. The moment of a first kiss, for example, is supposed to be electric and spontaneous. Asking for a verbal confirmation turns a moment of passion into a business transaction. It pulls her out of her feminine, receptive state and forces her into her logical, analytical brain. The high-value fix. You must learn to make declarative statements and calibrate. Instead of asking, you state your intention, either verbally or non-verbally, and then you observe her reaction. Instead of, "Can I kiss you?" you create the right moment. You look her in the eyes, you read her body language, and you lean in slowly, giving her ample opportunity to pull away. You are leading the dance, not asking for an instruction manual. Instead of, "Can I get your number?" you say with a smile, "Hey, I've got to run, but we should continue this. What's your number?" It's a statement of intent, not a plea. Sign number 8. Getting defensive easily. And here's the one I told you about at the beginning. This is the one most men think makes them look strong, but it does the exact opposite. This is the man whose ego is made of glass. A woman makes a small, playful joke at his expense, a tease, and he immediately gets defensive, sullen, or starts logically explaining why her joke isn't accurate. The psychology in depth. Getting defensive is the ultimate subconscious admission of insecurity. A truly confident man is unshakable. He is so secure in his own worth that a small joke can't possibly threaten it. He can laugh at himself. When you get defensive, you are sending a blaring signal that says, "You just hit a nerve. You just exposed a real insecurity that I have and I'm panicking." It gives away all your power and shows her exactly where your weak spots are. The high-value fix. You must master the agree and amplify technique. This is a conversational judo move. When she makes a playful jab, you don't block it. You take its energy and amplify it to a ridiculous degree. She says, "You're such a dork." You reply with a wide grin, "I know, right? I'm the president of the International Dork Federation. We have secret handshakes and everything." This instantly diffuses the situation, shows you're fun, and, most importantly, proves that you are bulletproof and unshakable. Sign number 9. Unsolicited grand gestures. This is the man who tries to use the shock and awe method of dating. After 1 or 2 dates, he's already sending expensive flowers to her office, writing long, soul-bearing paragraphs about his feelings for her, or trying to buy her lavish gifts. The psychology in depth. He thinks this is the height of romance, straight out of a movie. She perceives it as transactional and desperate. The underlying message he is sending is, "I don't believe my personality and character are enough to win you over, so I need to use my resources to buy your affection." It's an attempt to fast-forward intimacy and create a sense of obligation because he is insecure about his ability to let it build naturally. Why it's unattractive. It creates immense pressure. It feels inauthentic because you don't know her well enough for these gestures to be genuine. It makes her feel like she's being put on a pedestal, which is an uncomfortable and lonely place to be. It also removes all the fun of the chase and the gradual discovery of getting to know someone. The high-value fix. You must match her investment level. In the early stages of dating, your level of investment, whether it's time, emotion, or money, should be equal to or even slightly less than hers. Let the connection build organically. The gift you bring on a date is your presence, your leadership, and the fun experience you create. That is infinitely more valuable than anything you can buy. Sign number 10, making her your entire world. Finally, we have the man who successfully gets the girl and then promptly loses her by abandoning himself. He stops seeing his friends. He quits his hobbies. He lets his fitness slide. He abandons his purpose. His entire life's mission shifts from building my empire to making sure my girlfriend is happy at all times. The psychology in depth. This is the ultimate bait and switch. She was attracted to the man you were when she met you, the man with passions, a social life, ambition, and a purpose that was bigger than just her. When you abandon all of that to make her the sun in your universe, you are no longer the man she fell for. You become a satellite, and your neediness becomes a heavy gravitational force that paradoxically pushes her away. Why it's unattractive? It is the definition of neediness. It makes her the sole source of your happiness, which is a terrifying amount of pressure for any one person to carry. It's also, frankly, boring. A woman wants to be the co-pilot on your amazing journey. She does not want to be the destination. The high-value fix. You must remember that your mission is your priority. A high-value woman wants to be the most important person in your life, not the most important thing. Your purpose, your growth, and your standards must always be your North Star. She is the incredible partner you choose to share that journey with. Never give up your kingdom for your queen. A true queen wouldn't want you to. So, the 10 signs. Over-apologizing, indecisiveness, seeking reassurance, gossiping, being a chameleon, poor self-deprecation, asking for permission, getting defensive, grand gestures, and abandoning your world. What do all of these have in common? It's one simple, powerful concept. Your emotional center is outside of yourself. Your validation, your happiness, your stability, you are seeking all of it from her. A strong man's emotional center is within. He validates himself. He creates his own happiness. He is the rock, not the leaf in the wind. This isn't about becoming a cold, emotionless jerk. It's about becoming an unshakable mountain. It's about developing a core of self-respect so solid that these weak behaviors wither and die. When you fix this, you don't just become more attractive to women, you become more powerful in every area of your life. Now, I want you to be brutally honest for your own sake. Which of these 10 signs have you been most guilty of? Drop the number in the comments. Acknowledging it is the first step. If this video was an eye-opener, do me a huge favor and smash that like button, subscribe for more No BS psychology, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Build your foundation. I'll see you in the next one.